What's up, guys? It's your girl Samar. Let's get in the van, guys. We got places to go. And we going only to where Samar takes you. Last I checked, ain't nobody on this platform telling y'all that these wells that Abraham had were oil wells. Now, I could be mistaken. Maybe I've overlooked someone. If I have, let me know in the comment section. I'm being a smart ass. I know all too well. Nobody else has told y'all this. You know? So Samara gets a little in her feelings when everybody be tuning in to everybody else. And it's not about viewership. I really don't care about the viewership. It's more about me getting this information out to people. You know, last week I read to you guys that you need to send for the cunning women. That you need to send for the wailing women. It didn't say send for no cunning man. It didn't say send for the wailing man. Nah. It says it's time for her house to rise. Alright? And if these men on this platform ain't giving way to her house rising, I don't want to hear nothing about them. I'm sorry. I got to tell y'all as frankly as I feel. You know, half these mofos on here know about Samar. They really do. They don't associate with me. And it's all good. Because I don't associate with them either. No one called them. Trust and believe. Nobody called them. They have made themselves relevant. They're going to be on here today begging. You ever hear Samar beg? Huh? And you think I don't need stuff? You think I ain't got kids here too? I trust in mama. Prime example. Let me tell y'all how mama be doing for me. This won't take long. Last week I'm driving. I'm going to go to the land. Right, guys? And my car slows down. Right? I'm driving that big body Kia Optima. My joint slows down. It won't let me go over 60. And I'm saying to myself, well, what in the hell is going on with my car, right? I got a car full of kids in the back seat because everybody wants to go to the land. So Samar has, shout out to you, Sylvie. Samar has Sylvie's kids in the back seat of this car. I am going 75 initially. Remember I told y'all my car wouldn't go over 60. I look for the exit. I turn back around. I can't go to the land. Get back to Sylvie's house. We like, what in the world is going on with this car? Check the oil. Everything seemed okay. I got a check engine light on. And I say to myself, that is not what I want to see right now, guys. Okay? But the check engine light is on. So I go to AutoZone. And it's giving me this code, P1326, which is giving me the knock sensor code, saying my knock sensors went off. Well, the knock sensors were installed in the car to keep it from experiencing an engine fire, right? So I go to AutoZone. He tells me what this is. I start researching, right? And initially, I think this is going to be a bad thing, guys. But, you know, because I'm like, mama, I can't right now. Okay? I start researching this knock sensor, and there are Reddit pages dedicated to this code. I thank mama I'm a researcher, boy, because this shit happened. This shit helped me in real life, guys. My ability to research like this helped me in real life. I start getting on the Reddit page. Nothing I'm seeing about this knock sensor is encouraging. All right, so I'm starting to get down on my luck, guys, because I'm like, oh no, this looking like engine problem. It's looking like put the nail in the coffin. And I only got 123,000 miles on my car. Okay? And so finally I get to one page and mama throws me a life vest. Somebody decided to share that, hey, Kia and Hyundai were involved in a lawsuit a few years ago. That if you got one of these cars, it was about 500,000 cars that went out, guys. $500,000, right? They went out. According to the settlement, if you got one of these cars, they got to give you a new engine. They got to give you a loaner mobile. They got to pay your wages if you lost any, right? All you got to do is put your VIN number in. Put my VIN number in, and guess what, guys? Samar got one of them cars. I told you, mama be looking out for me. Guess who's getting a new engine? I am. I told you, I don't got to stay on here and beg. Okay? If mama put it on your heart to send something, so be it. But I ain't going to be on here begging. Alright? I'm nothing like what else is on here. Alright? Unless it's a woman rolling like me, I'm nothing like what else is on here. The men will be leading with their Cash App today. If it's a man leading with his Cash App, don't send it to me. I only want to deal with mother's sons. Them other sons are like a broken clock. They're going to be right twice a day. Okay? They're going to be right twice a day. Here's the thing. Nobody on this joint telling y'all that it's about the oil, is they? No, because they don't know. Only mama going to reveal this. Okay? This movie right here is coming out, isn't it? Well, maybe it's out already. Didn't I tell y'all that these wells were oil wells? Who else telling y'all this? Nobody. Nobody on YouTube is going to tell y'all that this was about oil. They're going to tell you it's about gold. They're going to tell you it was about silver. They're going to tell you it was about everything under the sun. They're not going to tell you it was about the oil. Shout out to my mother for revealing this to me. Now they're starting to let the cat out the bag a little bit, right? Look at this movie, guys. Sarah's Oil. Shout out to Mimi. Mimi sent me this too. In the early 1900s, young Sarah Rector, now we know Chief Rector, believes there's oil beneath the barren land she's allotted in Indian Territory. Now, pause, guys. Does that sentence not bring clarity? She is allotted land in Indian Territory. What the fuck does that mean? Huh? What do y'all think it means? It means it's her land in Indian Territory. So what that make her? Even though they're going to depict her, right, as this young lady right here, right? They're going to tell you that's an African American. Yet, they got an African American playing her, right? She's given land in Indian Territory. The Indians wasn't mad about this. The Indians ain't say, hey, why y'all stick this lady over here with us? Anyway, as greedy sharks close in, Sarah turns to family, friends, and some Texas wildcatters. Why did she need the people from Texas, to maintain control of her oil-rich land, eventually becoming one of the first female African-American millionaires. Sarah Rector, Her name had to be Sarah. That's just the title. She's the chief. It's her land in Indian Territory, guys. And that name was bugging me. So let's go to it. Let's go to this Rector name, right? Give me back Rector. Dismiss you. Yes, I love the app. All right, let's get to this Rector name. Rector, late 14th century, late 13th century, as a surname, early 13th century in Anglo-Latin. Means ruler of a country or people, a sense now obsolete. You see that? See how they snuck that in there? Ruler of a people, From Latin rector, ruler, governor, director, guide. From rect, past particle, stem of regere, to rule, guide. Move in a straight line, with derivatives meaning to direct in a straight line, thus to lead, rule. The meaning head of a college or religious community is by the early 15th century. Though the exact religious sense varies across place and time and with different denominations, used originally of Roman governors and God, by 18th century generally restricted to clergymen and college heads. The fem form was rectress, related rectorship, rectorial. Her name is Rector. Huh? Yeah, it is. And I don't think that's by chance either, guys. But I came here for something else. We came for the word gas. Samar told y'all, guys, right? Now, we opened up with this picture, right, of this dollar bill. Dollar bill, y'all, right? Cash rules everything around them. At the bottom here, that Novus Ordo Seclorum, order out of chaos. Did you know the word gas means chaos too? Yeah, it does. Look at this. 1650s, from Dutch, gas, probably from Greek, chaos, meaning empty space. The sound of Dutch G is roughly equivalent to that of Greek K, first used by Flemish chemist J.B. van Helmont, probably influenced by Paracelsus, who used chaos in an occult sense of proper elements of spirits, or ultra rare. I sounded like Scooby-Doo just now. Ultra rarefied water, which was Van Helmont's definition of gas. See? I'm glad they did that. See? Because only here are you going to see that they're going to use the word water for gas. Now, why does that help us? Wasn't Moses supposed to get water out of the rock? And he struck it instead of talking to it? And isn't that why he couldn't come into the promised land? Oh, listen, all of the BS aside, guys, only when this, quote, water is gas or oil does the story of Moses even begin to make sense. That's the only way it makes sense, is when we make it like what Samar said, when we make it oil, right? No nigga on here going to tell you this today. Samar's telling you it's oil, okay? It only makes sense when it's oil, because fracking is a no-no, right? Fracking is ruining our environment. We're going to get to it. And that's what Moses did. And that's what they continue to do in South America. We weren't supposed to do that here in this promised land. We weren't supposed to be like the other nations and ruin our lands. But Tricky Judah let him in through the back door. And Tricky Judah had to get his hands on this stuff, right? Because remember, when we talk in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's not Ephraim. That's Judah. After they cleared us out off of the land. Ephraim was protecting that land. Judah opened up the back door, let his friends in so he could raid us, get us off the land. And guess what happened to Judah once they started manufacturing it? Judah got raided off the land. Okay? You can't get into bed with thieves. You think they're going to be honorable to you? Absolutely not. Only when it's oil does this water make sense. See? Water right there. They're going to tell you. Ultra rarefied. I'm struggling with that word. Ultra, not necessarily. It just doesn't flow right. Ultra, right here, guys. Rarefied waters. Okay, they're going to refer to this gas right here. So if you don't want to believe Samar, when Samar keep telling y'all that this word gas, right, is water. So when you see it in the book and they saying water, this water right here. This vapor, hitherto unknown, I call by a new name, gas. See? Now, it's funny because look at this word. Looks like medicine, right? Modern scientific sense began in 1779, which later secondary specialization to combustible mix of vapors, originally coal gas, anesthetic. See, that's what, oh shit, guys. That's what that medicine was coming in as. Is this what they're using as an anesthetic? I don't know, guys. Originally nitrous oxide. Yes, yes. And poison gas, meaning intestinal vapors, is from 1882. The success of this artificial word is unique. Slang sense of empty talk is from 1847. Slang meaning something exciting or excellent. First attested 1953. From earlier Hepster slang, gasser in the same sense. Gas also meant fun, a joke. In Anglo-Irish, and was used by Joyce, 1914. Gas works is by 1817. Gas oven is from 1851 as a kitchen appliance. Gas stove from 1848. See, the verb 1886 to supply with illuminating gas, right? From gas. So now you see where this illuminating stuff is coming from, right? I hope you do. I hope you do. Sense of poison with gas is from 1889 as an accidental thing, from 1915 as a military attack. See, they found it by mistake. 1889, that's around the time when you got cleared off that land. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Go look up Tulsa. That's around the time you got cleared off that land because that's when they started manufacturing it. And then we see military attacks, all kinds of stuff. Short for gasoline by 1905. Gas pump is from 1925. Gas pedal, accelerator, fueling station. Y'all see where this is going. But this is this order out of chaos. Chaos is a gaping void, empty, immeasurable space. Or directly from Latin, chaos. Abyss, that which gapes wide open. That which is vast and empty. Utter confusion. The keys to the bottomless pit they gave this man. You see? That's why they think that he's their JC, okay? He's going to usher in. He's going to usher in the Gilded Days for them all over again. Check this out, guys. The Maya end of the world, destruction or evolution. Today's Maya look ahead to December 2012. Y'all remember when this came around? But when it came around, they had us afraid, right? Now, let's get down to this paragraph. Not for a single moment have the Maya feared the arrival of this date. On the contrary, the ancient Maya have always told us to wait patiently for a change in consciousness and the evolution which that change will bring. Human beings don't exist by chance or a work of fate. They're part of a plan to carry out a mission in this part of the universe. Nor is the world totally complete in its creation and perfection. Mankind has a job to do on this planet, what I told y'all, and must be part of its conservation. Who else telling you this? Nobody. They're telling you to expect gold, silver, get your things back. I don't know what they expected, but I'm telling you, you want to be ready to pick up a shovel and some seeds. I'm telling you this. This was your role, and now you've been flung far away from that role. You think you're supposed to jump behind the wheel of a car and go to their job. You were supposed to be conserving what was given to you. And instead of cars, I know she gave me a new engine, but instead of cars, we're going back to horses, guys. It could be said that life on this plane depends on humans and what we do during our existence. Okay? The Maya prophecies announce the change of time. The Popol Vuh is their book of advice, and it tells us it is time for a new dawn and to finally complete the task. You know what the new dawn is? Send for your wailing women. Send for your cunning folk. Pick up a shovel. Drop some seeds, Tillman. We are at the beginning of the ending of a period of the sun, which lasts 5,200 years, culminating with some hours of darkness. After these days of darkness, a new period of the sun will appear. In each period of the sun, the planet adjusts, causing changes to the climate, social and political change. The world and life both transform, and we enter a period of understanding, of living together in harmony, and of social justice and equality for all. There's a new way of living. When there is a new social order, there's a new kind of freedom. A time when we will walk like the clouds, without limits and without borders. We'll travel like the birds, with no need for passports. We'll flow like the rivers, all towards the same place, the same goal. The Popol Vuh tells us that there have been these three eras: the eras of the gods, the eras of the heroes, and the eras of mankind, with an increase in decline. But what does all this mean? It means that within the Maya prophecies, we can see a return to power. The interesting thing is that within the long-awaited change, it is also expected that there will be a reawakening of the Maya world in all its complexity, with an appearance of the ascending Maya spirits who will come to bring the people back up. We will fulfill the famous phrase that no one will be left behind, and also that we will always return to where we came from. This is what they're saying the Maya believed, that we were in these cycles, guys, where basically in every cycle, mankind is raping the plane of the resources. And this winds up being some sort of cataclysmic event, guys. And it looked like that's where we're heading now, if the powers that be could remain in control. But we know that they're not going to remain in control, don't we? Oh, yeah, they got their... Listen, I personally am questioning, are these mofos in bunkers? Because of what's the third eye out there? Are you in a bunker, sir? Man, listen, ain't no amount of hiding. We're facing great changes, great powers, which never have been seen on the face of the earth. We have an opportunity to experience a change of conscience, which will help us to evolve as a species, protecting the natural resources, which we need for our survival. I mean, am I confused here? Am I confused? Does Samar make it too much about this place we live on? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. If I'm making it about this place that we live in, then why does it say this in the Torah? That Joseph is going to be given the dew from heaven, the everlasting hills. That's territorial. That's resources. I know what we were given, and I know why we were giving it. Joseph planned ahead, man. He let the earth rest. You see these mofos doing that now? They ain't letting nothing rest. But in order for us to survive, something has to change. The long-awaited, urgent social equity, finally understanding the importance of the human being in the universal order, we will wake up the conscious of change. That's what I try to do here every week. Wake up, guys. I try to wake Ephraim up. because it will be Ephraim who will restore this plain. That is your role. The Maya do not speak of the end of the world. Specifically, they say that everything transforms, that the only thing which remains is the spirit in its journey of evolution towards higher level. The first Maya prophecy announces the end of the present cycle, that from the year 1999, there are 13 years remaining, that every person is in the great room of mirrors to find his own multidimensional nature within himself. Yeah, it's time for some inner seeking out. You know, it's time for you to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I lined up right? Am I hearing whose image I'm made in? I can't teach you that. This is stuff you have to do in your own time. That's self-reflection, guys. I can't teach you that. But you better believe I do it myself. Their calendar contained the coded information which indicates the key dates for the transformation. Saturday, December 22nd, 2012. Y'all remember they did that 2012 movie? The second Maya prophecy says that the answer to everything are inside man. Who's been telling y'all that? Have I not been telling you? They want you to look out, but everything is on the inside. Did we not have the spirit who hovered above the waters? Have we not been kicking the Y prophecy? Have we not been kicking microbiology? And we know that the microbe is a tiny living being. Samar's been teaching you to look inside. Did I not tell you that the rear guard is your immune system? It's all inside. So see, I'm lined up with most of these Maya prophecies, and I didn't even know it. The answer to everything are inside man, that our behavior determines our future. It affirms that humanity finds itself in a moment of fundamental transition towards a new way of perceiving the universe, that the universe and the solar system are receiving a beam of light, energy, and information from the center of the galaxy. Is that third eye coming to bring it right to the doorstep? Let's see. And that this is causing an increase in the vibration of the planet and the brain waves and the cells of man, placing him in equilibrium with this new frequency, causing enormous change in his behavior. The second Maya prophecy shows two paths, one of understanding and tolerance, and one of fear and destruction. In both, man will learn the necessary lessons for the evolution of the conscious. This prophecy tells us that humanity is moving towards a new era of harmony, and that to get there, we must confront our greatest fears and accept that we are faced with difficult situations in order to learn from them, maintaining peace in any situation which we experience. No matter how difficult the challenge, we can maintain and increase our internal energy, producing a state of high vibration and a state of respect for all that exists. Do we have that now, right now, guys? Do y'all think everybody is vibrating high and that there's a respect for all that exists? No. There's no respect for everything that exists. And I'm going to show you. The difficult situations will remain in our lives as long as we need to learn something from them. The third Maya prophecy, and the reason why Samara is harping on the Maya, because guys, I showed y'all the Balaam is present in this culture. This is family. Maya means it's linked to the fountain. Okay, so and all of that is linked to this all seeing eye and this pyramid right here, guys. And we're going to get to it. The third prophecy says we must become aware of our influence on the planet so that we do not continue making mistakes or causing its destruction, as has happened over the course of history. What did I tell y'all? It keeps happening. The processes of industrialization without ecological sensitivity have caused, with its waste, a general increase in the temperature of the planet. But no, you don't believe in climate change. This will be accentuated by increased activity of the sun, caused by the energy received from the center of the galaxy, creating great changes in weather and winds. There will be energy vortexes, which will clean the Earth's surface, which are the manifestations of the inconformity of our planet and of the elemental energies contained in its interior. All right, so, I mean, what do y'all think? Are these prophecies hitting on something? The fourth Maya prophecy tells us man must cease his destructive behavior in order to synchronize with the rhythms of nature and adjust to the changes, which will take the whole universe to an era of harmony. The climate change will produce a melting of the poles, allowing the planet to be cleansed and green again, producing great changes in the physical composition of the continents. So this just sounds like, a very painful process, but necessary. So a lot of what we're seeing as far as these hurricanes, hold on a second, guys. These, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the earthquakes, it's sounding like these are cleansing pains, necessary to cleanse away some of the destruction. The fifth prophecy says that all systems based on fear, which affect our civilization, will transform simultaneously with the planet and humanity to take a new step towards the reality of harmony. So enough with this hell, right? You going to hell. Anyway. Systems will fail to confront humanity with itself, making us see the need to reorganize society and continue on the path of evolution, allowing us to understand creation. Money will cease to be used as a form of exchange, and the symptoms which are emerging in various parts of the world seem to confirm this. Daniel's prophecy, guys. The stone coming to crush the toes, right? And these prophecies, right, leading up to 5, 6, and 7, right? These prophecies even kind of remind me of the statue, right? That's coming to crush, which could be that third eye, right? Coming to crush the toes of that government. A new system will rise up that's never been seen before, right? Money will cease to be used as a form of exchange, and the symptoms which are emerging in various parts of the world confirm this. A single common spiritual path will emerge for all humanity, which will end the established limits we've set for the different ways of seeing God. The new galactic day is seen in all religions and cults as an era of peace and harmony for all humanity. And that's true. What's being said here is that if you look to all of these religions, post whatever's coming, you always see that there's going to be this era of peace after that, right? Therefore, it is clear that whatever does not contribute to this result should disappear or change. The new era of light cannot allow a humanity based on a military economy, which imposes truths by force, right? The dawn of the galaxy, should be based on profound respect for each other and the recognition of all that exists, right? And now, I see this even at a deeper level, the respect for the female gender, right? Because currently, nobody respects her as that portal, right? As they should. She's not protected. She's actually enslaved. She's oppressed. She's not respected for her wisdom. She's not appreciated for her contributions. She's not protected. And don't get me started. That's women in general. Don't get me started with what I face or any of my sisters hailing from the tribe of Ephraim, what we face daily. We are the last to be protected, if even that. You know, I show you guys daily occurrences of misogynoir, right? I've shown you that. And I mean, just the fact that there's a name for her, for this sister, right, outside of misogyny, should show you what we're up against, right? I'm not making this up. Just the mere fact that there's a word called misogynoir, hate of the black woman. That should validate what I'm saying. There's no respect. The new humanity will not need existing technology communication systems. You heard that? For we will be connected mentally, and therefore violence should cease to exist. Okay? We are at the end of the night of 5125 years, at the end of a galactic day of 26,000 years, at the point of entering the dawn of the galaxy, the era of change, which the Maya called the time of no time, was also prophesied by other cults and religions. All agree that the world is at the point of a change of huge proportions, soon after which will occur a period of chaos, which will usher in a new phase of evolution of conscious and unprecedented changes in humanity. Are we in a period of chaos right now? I believe so. Okay? I believe we're right in that period of chaos, which will usher in a new phase of evolution of conscious and unprecedented changes in humanity. And we know for this unprecedented change that the other sons, they got to be out of here, man. It is these other sons that are causing this destruction. This toxic masculinity, this alpha male, right? That want to tell the other sons that they are beta males, right? Because they support her, right? You know, and I could say this chaos, you know, these new phases of evolution and change will be doing away with some people that purport mass destruction, you know, and we know who these people are. we know who is currently oppressing and acting like they got to babysit us. No matter where we're at in the community, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. It'll be enough of that, won't it? The sixth Maya prophecy says that in the next few years, a comet will appear, whose trajectory will place humanity's existence in danger, also predicted by many religions and cults. In the Bible book of Revelations, it appears under the name wormwood. The Maya knew that for modern man to discover with anticipation an asteroid so large and then diverted would be one of the major achievements of human history and a critical act that would unite us as a species. I think they added that last paragraph, and I think this is an interesting one right here, guys, given the timing, right? The seventh Maya prophecy tell us of the moment when the solar system in its cycle leaves the night and enters the dawn of the galaxy. It is said that in the 13 years from 1999 to 2012, the light which is emitted from the center of the galaxy synchronizes all living beings and permits them to voluntarily access an internal transformation which produces new realities. That we all have the opportunity to change and break our limitations, receiving a new sense. Those who voluntarily find their interior state of peace taking their frequency of vital energy from fear to love, will be able to capture and express themselves through thought, and with that evolve. So, the Maya wasn't kicking no doom and gloom and hell and, the bottomless pit. And, a lot of what they were kicking was borrowed from, right? A lot of what they were kicking was borrowed from. And I just wanted to share some of their prophecies with you, especially concerning the Popol Vuh, right? I focus more on the Dresdens, but they're all relevant. Now check this out, right? This happened early last month, and we're going to bring it in because this is about the fountains, right? The word Mayan means fountain, right? It also means the eye, right? Right? For that all-seeing eye, okay? There was a fire last month in LA, and it caught my eye given which oil company this impacted, right? Because we know what Chevron means, right, guys? And we're going to get to it later on for those who don't. But let's not lose focus. I want to stay focused on this fire. Chevron's Los Angeles refinery down after large fire erupted in jet fuel unit. And there's been a lot of factory explosions lately, especially when it comes to energy or firearms, right? We had a whole factory get leveled, ammunitions factory or something, where they're saying those people got vaporized, right? So this was early last month. Chevron's almost 300,000 barrel per day El Segundo refinery in Southern California has taken multiple units offline on Friday after a large fire erupted in a jet fuel production unit, disrupting supply in the Golden State's isolated energy market. The Golden State. See, now, people will say that California, now I haven't checked this myself, so I'm giving it to you as per se, right? People have said that California is the fourth largest economy in the world, right? And you hear it referred to as the Golden State, right? We got the Golden State Warriors, right? We got the 49ers, the gold rush, right? And they want you to believe that this is metal gold. And Samara keeps trying to tell y'all, ain't no metal gold, it's black gold. We'll get to it. This is what I mean by that. And this is why California is so rich. Okay? They're going to tell you it's because of Hollywood. They're going to tell you there's more millionaires per capita. They're going to tell you all that, right? Samara is going to be the one to tell you it's about the oil. Yeah. Let's go on a journey. So this is the Golden State's isolated energy market. The El Segundo refinery is the second largest in California and Chevron's second biggest refinery in the United States. The facility supplies a fifth of all motor vehicle fuels and 40% of the jet fuel consumed in Southern California. The fire at the facility's jet fuel production unit broke out on Thursday evening. No injuries were reported, and all workers at the refinery were accounted for. Fire was put out. It was not immediately clear what caused the explosion at the facility in the suburbs of El Segundo, which supplies jet fuel for Los Angeles LAX. Right? It's located just north of the refinery. Did you know that for the planes that are flying out of Cali, that their jet fuel is being supplied by their state? Do you get that? Because I know they keep trying to make us look over there, like with everything, right? They're trying to make us look over there for the people. when the people been here. They trying to make us look over there for the resources when the resources been here. Go look up the Yogo Gulch. The most priceless sapphires that are non-heat treated are right here in Montana. They're going to tell you to look over to India. Why would I do that when the Yogo Gulch is here in Montana? They're going to tell you to look to the Middle East for your oil, right? Nah. You better look to Cali. You better look to why they came in this mofo. Look at Texas. Look at Cali. Look at Oklahoma. We're going to get to it. They're getting their fuel right here. There's no known impact, it says to LAX at the time. So they had to shut down some of the units. Airlines hit more than drivers. On the West Coast, traders were still assessing the extent of damage to the refinery, but early indications pointed to a small increase in motor fuel prices and potentially larger impacts for aviation fuel. Gasoline prices in California, already the highest in the country, are expected to rise 5 to 15 cents per gallon for now, as the refinery's gasoline producing unit was said to have not been impacted by the fire. So they are also producing their own gasoline. Did you even know that? Now they keeping this on the hush. You better believe it. Welcome to El Segundo. The El Segundo and Los Angeles coastal area was once part of Rancho Sauce Redondo, which meant the Round Willow Patch Ranch, extended from Playa del Rey to the north to Redondo Beach in the south. Originally a Mexican land grant owned by Antonio Ignacio Avila. The rancho was later purchased by a Scottish baronet named Sir Robert Burnet. After his return to Scotland, the property was purchased by current manager of the rancho, Daniel Freeman. Now there's a name for you, huh? Y'all think that's by accident? I do not. Daniel Freeman sold portions of the rancho to several persons. George H. Peck owned 840 acres of land the Chevron refinery now sits on. Peck also developed land in El Porto, where a street still bears his name. The city earned its name, the second, in Spanish, as it was the site of the second Standard Oil refinery on the West Coast, when Standard Oil of California purchased the 840 acres in 1911. All right, I only bought this in because I wanted to show y'all that this name meant the second, right? And that it bore so much weight that we're up here calling this El Segundo, right? Not realizing we're calling it the second, right? After Standard Oil is the second Standard Oil refinery. So they got to basically name a whole city because of this oil refinery. This is how big the energy is out here, guys. Gotta understand it. They keep making you look over there. Samara keep telling you to look right here. You don't gotta look nowhere else. It was right here that Moses couldn't enter because he struck the rock. Greetings from California, the hellish oil pumping state of yesteryear. You didn't know that they was pumping oil out of this joint like this? And they're still pumping it. They're not going to stop until there's nothing left. This is their bottomless pit. Okay? Look at the pyramids lining the skyline. Look at that. It looks like a scene out of a dystopian horror movie, foreshadowing our planet's bleak future. But not long ago, this was California, the black golden state. See, the black gold. Y'all thought I was making that up. I guess I never understood exactly what it meant when they said Los Angeles, and much of Southern California was built on oil. I think I was imagining some oil fields out in the desert, far from cities, away from the white sandy beaches and picturesque coastline. But then I started really looking at all the haunting photographs of Huntington Beach, Venice Beach, Long Beach, and other areas of Los Angeles basin, infested with oil towers. See? There go they pyramids. And that eye is their well. Look, there go their pyramids. I finally understood that when they say built on oil, they meant it in both figuratively and literally. You see it? You see it? Now, didn't they just give this lady back the beach? Now, did they, if this is one of their beaches, did they give them back their money? Because these look like a stone's throw from the beach. No, they got everything they needed and ran up out of there. Now I'm going to give you back a beach and act like there was nothing left to it. Just the beach. Meanwhile, they done collected all of the oil that was under the beach, right? I went digging for more evidence and found endless photos and postcards of an unrecognizable California, its landscape invaded by these black towers, like some nightmarish Twilight Zone. Didn't we find postcards how Tulsa was the oil capital 100 years ago? They documented it in postcards, guys. You gotta dig on the postcards. Even if you know all about the Golden State's history with oil, I don't think it's ever possible to be unfazed by those surreal images that manifest modern man's disturbing addiction to black gold. Okay? And it's not a modern man's addiction. This go back to David. This go back to Abraham, who dug these wells, right? This go further back than modern man and his obsession with black gold. Because this town that David's obsessed with, Hebron, literally means chevron, which literally means confederacy, right? Which we know that war was the Civil War, right? That they told us about, that was fought between the North and the South, right? Just so happened that David's fighting a war between the North and the South of Israel. Go figure. What a coinky-dink. Look at these pictures, guys. This is insanity. Look, right amongst their trees and stuff. Look at this mess. This is crazy. Everyone knows Hollywood makes big bucks, but one of Southern California's chief exports over the last 100 years has also been oil. All right? This was their chief export. Okay? They were sending it out. In the 1860s, the first oil fields were drilled in California's Central Valley, enough to provide for San Francisco, the largest population center in California at the time, but under the sleepy beachside villages of Los Angeles. Far larger oil fields remain. You see that? Where did they give these people back this land at? You heard that, right? On the beachside villages of Los Angeles, right? The oil remained undiscovered. A couple of down-and-out gold miners struck oil in what is now downtown Los Angeles in 1892, and within a few years, they had drilled 500 wells. Los Angeles was, and still is, sitting on top of the nation's third largest oil field, the dew from heaven. You see this? Everyone wanted a piece of the pie. In the first years of the initial oil boom, the population of Los Angeles doubled between 1890 and 1900, attracting a colorful crowd of gamblers, con men, and prostitutes. Didn't I point out one of them last, 2 weeks ago when I said he ain't no king? Didn't we point out a con man with his prostitutes? Huh? This welfare collector, didn't we? Friedrich? Come on, guys. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So here you go. We tracked him down in Cali, and this is what they were doing in the 1900s over there. Okay? One of the earliest investors managed to play her cards right was a local music teacher, Emma Summers. By 1900, when the state of California was producing 4 million barrels of oil, Summers controlled half the production in the original Los Angeles field and became known as the oil queen. She's probably a Judahite. Look at it. Look at the skyline, guys. By 1910, the population of Los Angeles had tripled. California was producing 77 million barrels, just as they thought the wells were about to run dry at the dawn of the Roaring Twenties. 3 more major fields were discovered in Huntington Beach, Santa Fe Springs, and Signal Hill, Long Beach. Guys, I could swear it was the Huntington Beach was that property they just gave back to them people. Would you recognize this as Venice Beach? No, I would not. My kid lives there now, and I go there quite often. Old derricks towered over homes, schools, golf courses, and even orange groves across the Los Angeles basin, and people just lived with it, at least for a good part of the century. Can you believe this? In the 1930s and 40s, when California was producing nearly 1/4 of the world's oil output, just California alone, guys, and its population had grown to 1.2 million, they began making efforts to soundproof the derricks and vinyl coat them in glass cloth with 1-inch fiberglass filling to decrease the noise. I bet. Right up until the 1980s, you could still see dozens of mini oil sipping Eiffel Towers. Shout out to you, Israel, with that Eiffel Tower, right? Blocking a perfectly good photo opportunity on your California road trip. Yeah. Israel told me to check on the Eiffel Tower, that you thought this was an old oil rig. Well, what do you know, Israel? Looking like one to me. And I actually did dig on that drop a little bit. Just haven't had time to get to it. But don't worry, it's on the to-do list. Good eyes. But look at this, guys. But even today, secret camouflaged oil rigs are still pumping away in Southern California, hidden in plain sight. In Los Angeles, there's an oil tower camouflaged in a flower mural that towers over a school basketball court. Most employees at the Beverly Center Mall have no idea they're sharing their workspace with an active oil rig. Okay, guys, they don't even know this. If you've ever been to the Beverly Center Mall, that mall is sitting on an active oil rig, guys. They still pump it. They will not stop until it's all gone. Take my word for this. They believe this is their bottomless pit. Why there are oil wells all over Southern California. It says why there are oil pump jacks laboring away along the La Cienega shortcut through Baldwin Hills to LAX. Why until 2017 was an oil derrick pumping vigorously on the grounds of Beverly Hills High School, concealed in a flower-painted tower? Didn't they just tell us in the last article that there was another one under a high school? Would Manhattan allow an oil rig right outside Grand Central Station? Would Paris permit a derrick to go bobbing along behind the Eiffel Tower? Now they're trying to be funny, given that we know, shout out to you, Israel, again, that the Eiffel Tower is an old oil rig, right? Well, how many barrels a day are we talking about? Like sunshine, oil too is nature's gift to Los Angeles. Bullshit. You shouldn't be pumping this stuff. Hollywood is more dazzling, aerospace more thrilling, but it's oil, noisome, filthy crude oil, that for more than 120 years has helped to make Los Angeles an unlikely petro capital and to make Angelinos rich. Right? That's why he sent in the National Guard. Y'all think that is to just bother people. Nah, there's something special about Cali. By 1926, when crabby Baltimore journalists complained that LA stank of orange blossoms, it also stank of oil. At the La Brea tar pits, which translates the tartar pits, oil showed its icky, sticky face tens of thousands of years ago. A black quicksand death trap with a Chumash canili and carefully harvested tar to caulk their Tomo plank canoes. So this older native group used to seal their canoes with it so that they could get on the water and not spring a leak. Okay. When the Spanish arrived in the summer of 1769, they came across the bubbling, noxious tar swamps. Father Crespi, who was chronicling the expedition, wrote that his party christened them the tar volcanoes. In time, tar deposits were quarried for asphalts, rather like peat bogs. The first real oil well was drilled during the Civil War, but industrial demand just wasn't there for it to catch on. Finally, in 1892, a down-on-his-luck newcomer named Edward L. Doheny sharpened a eucalyptus log like a number 2 pencil and went chonking away at Echo Park Earth and struck oil. The black gold rush was on. The Doheny story too went on and on to riches, to murder, and to disgrace. But that's a column for another time. I came here for this, guys. It was this guy's method that revolutionized how they were going to get this oil. Pay close attention to what he did. He took a log and sharpened it like it was a pencil and kept jabbing away at the earth until he made it bleed. That's what he did. I'm going to show you guys this. Watch. So when I say that this reminds me of plasmapheresis and why the earth seems to be in pain, right? With this, quote, climate change, this crazy weather, right? This bipolar weather that we've been having, right? I want y'all to remember that he did this. And it reminded me also of Moses and Aaron striking the rock. And this Huntington Beach, boy, they got a lot out of that joint. The Julian oil scandal. They manipulated the stocks. They had an accused crook was shot dead in court by a man who had lost his life savings. Then they pulled another fast one in Oklahoma. Skipped bail and ran off to Shanghai where he poisoned himself. Yeah, it says if you go to LA, you're going to see these things in parking lots, and they're going to be disguised as stylish towers. But these are the oil rigs. Orphan wells, the ghost of Boomtown, still pock under Los Angeles. Now, this is terrible, because these wells lead to pollution. Listen to this. The furrows of pollution from abandoned wells lead to toxic neighborhoods. Yeah, they know that. Abandoned wells, orphaned wells. Look, I'm just going to show y'all. Look, this it is by no chance that this company is called Pyramid, okay? Pyramid Oil Company. You need to read this little article. Pause it. You can enlarge it. And see, these are their pyramids. So when I told you they put this pyramid on the back of the dollar to represent these, I wasn't kidding you. This is what it's all about. This is what this pyramid right here, this is their order out of chaos. Chaos means gas. Remember, guys. Let's talk about this eye, right, guys? Translated to fountain or well, perhaps because eyes can water or flow with tears. See? 4 related etymologies around appearing, emerging, springing forth for the source of eye. They couldn't decide whether eye comes from to flow or to flow as tears or water. Came from eye. In Chinese, eye is also fountain. Didn't I tell you that Mayan means fountain? We speak of eyes welling up, right? The well, with tears or gushing forth like a fountain. So now you know what this association to this eye is. It's representing the well springing forth from the pyramid. I hope I'm making this clear to you guys. See? Look at the pyramids. You see that? Could you even imagine? This is the mall. This is the Beverly Center Mall. And there is a fully operating oil rig underneath this mall. And these people have no idea. At least I don't think they know. It wasn't known to me. So if I had known that half of Venice Beach was littered with these things, I'd have looked a little more when I went out there to visit my kid, They're pyramids. And I brought this picture in because I keep referring to this fuel source, this ancient fuel source, right, guys? As this dragon. And look at Moses and Aaron striking the rock. Look, he got that club over the top of the dragon. And you see that shell on the back of the dragon, right? They have got Judah preoccupied. And they got Ephraim sick. Look, with spots. When he went to go deal with the daughters of Moab. Y'all think I'm joking. They depicting it all. Look at the ancient waters. You see it, the hills. The wild men took over. They took it from the Moors. See? They took it from Judah. See? They ran off Ephraim because Ephraim went and got himself sick. And ran his ass off of there. See that shell? See that shell? And on this shell, you're going to see the 7 spikes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Didn't I show you those 7 spikes on the top of her diadem? The 7 cities of gold. Okay, and I know this is Aaron because look at the blooming staff. See, this is all going together. See this Dresden Codex, right? And you see the jaguar spots, right? Remember last week I showed you Medusa's head being cut off and he's standing on her body. And I told you that reminds me of Lady Tikal, how Lord Balaam was standing on top of her, right? And this jaguar is represented by the Balaam, right? What does the jaguar go for, guys? The head. Got me thinking about the Hydra, right? The 7 heads, right? The 7 heads. The Hydra. See those keys, right? You see he's at that fountain, right? You see that dragon at the top, right? That first depicted picture kind of looks like an eclipse, guys. crossing time cleansing. And look at the crone. Look at the snake, Lord, guys. She's got that X, doesn't she? You see it. Scepter won't depart, huh? From Judah. Remember I told you, old boy was the one that wanted to sharpen up that pencil, right? And stab at the earth, right? Remember I told you that? How it reminds me of this process right here. Right? Kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Look at that. Look at this. You see it. Right? Look at that. Tell me it don't look like this. Like a very similar process is going on here. Right? Except this is happening to the earth, and this is happening to you if you donate plasma. So, if you donate too much of this, don't you die? So, if you take too much of this, doesn't the earth die? Seems very plausible to me, guys. They're all looking like a similar process to plasmapheresis. See? This is the removal of the plasma from the red blood cells. And it's looking very much like this process right here. And for those who are just getting here, and I told you, Hebron Confederacy, right? Means the same. It likely refers to the historical city of Hebron, whose name literally means league or confederacy in Hebrew. Psalms 83, right? At League of Nations that was conspiring. Depending on the context, it could also refer to the stone wall Confederate cemetery. The name Hebron originates from the Hebrew word Kibron, which is chevron, right? Which can mean league or confederacy. The etymology may have a connection to the concept of a united group or brotherhood. You know, I brought that last one in just to say this. I think it's really funny when we talk about those ages, right? That there was this reference to this city called Ai. And it was a Canaanite city known as a heap of ruins. Location in the book of Genesis and Joshua. And how right now we refer to artificial intelligence as AI. And it just kind of goes along with how we were just talking about the names of some of these cities, guys. And how when we began talking about these cycles where one after another, you know, man, like there's total destruction, and then man just kind of wipes the world out, and then we got to start all over. And it was something about this AI name and this link to the ruins and where we're at right now. And it was just giving me thought about the name of this city. You know, I always thought it was a weird name to have in our book. You know, and it could be something, and it could be absolutely nothing. I don't really know right now, but it was just where I was being led in the moment to think about where we're at. I guess that's my own self-reflection. Remember I told you guys we should all be self-reflecting, learning from the errors of our ways. That's what we need to be doing. Or else we're headed to the same old places. We need to protect what we have been given by all means. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next week.